Okay, we should be back and we should be live. I just noticed that I'm only broadcasting at 480p. I thought it was going higher than that. I guess not. Let's not tempt the bandwidth gods, though. So we'll keep it as it is. Nobody needs to see us that clearly. Really, you should drop it to about 160p. You'll probably get a lot more out of this.
It says I'm getting 720 on the stream.
Oh, okay.
You know, whether or not that's what the stream is throwing at me, even though you're only giving it 480, who knows?
Yeah, could be. We'll keep Dion at 1080, and then we'll all go down to 160, and we'll be good.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
I'm the pretty one.
Yep, exactly.
Especially in 160.
Yeah.
I'm
just like a real woman.
All right. Well, let's get this train wreck going. We're playing some BX Dungeons and Dragons. We are in the city of Penhaligon, here to do a little bit of diplomacy, meeting up with your guild, and potentially following a dwarf out to find his brethren and slay maybe a dragon. But before that, we're going to have a little politicking and a little shindig for the high society with Richard. Who are you playing tonight?
Hi there, I am Richard, and I am playing Scrimbleshanks, the halfling. So I can only reach the chins to dig into them, no higher.
No higher, that is correct. Jameis, who do you have?
I'm playing Galen Rayhorn, and I've been here for at least 19 months.
Wow.
It's been a lot longer than that, but that's as long as we've been able to patronize.
Bill, who you got?
Well, I'm Bill. I'm playing Radnor the Large. He is a 9th level magic user, and he is very large.
Indeed. And Dion.
Hello, I'm Dion. I'm playing Stoltein Reinbach the 7th, and he's a level 5 magic user.
Went up a level last time, I think.
I did. I finally leveled up once. I can cast Fireball now.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Well, tonight at the Castle of the Three Suns, you all have an invitation as you granted a new barony just close to here. A little chance for you to hobnob, see who has power in this area, who the other barons and baronets and lesser nobility are. I forget, did you guys decide to stay at the guild house, or is Dion, your character, continuing to stay at the very expensive, very nice inn?
We stayed at the merchant place for at least that night so we could sell and peddle our goods.
Yeah.
I don't know if we really clarified it.
All right. Well, if you do step into your guild house at some point prior to tonight, you'll find that they actually do have a well-kept wardrobe for any of the guild members that happen to be invited to court. They do have various garments that you can wear. They also have, let me put my cell phone on. They also have a tailor that can get everything set up for your own specifications. Or
I just cleaned my clothes the past couple of days ago. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, you can go traditional native if you wish. That's the thing to do. Can you guys hear me, or did my microphone go?
No, you're still I'm just not acknowledging your call for cleanliness.
We're rebelling. I'm probably just, I want to clean up, but like I've got some pretty fancy shit anyway. I'm going to like clean it up and look like a badass.
Yeah, just keep in mind that you've been wearing the same thing for months and months and months. So I don't know that cleaning it is going to make the exact desired effect. But
unless someone insists, Galen will just be going like he normally does because he just doesn't pay attention to that sort of thing.
Oh yeah,
so it's all on Stottelheim if he wants to make an impression or not.
Yep.
If I make a what?
Do you want us to make an impression or not?
I listen. I look good, and I'm the one with the deed, and that's all that matters. You guys are my bodyguards. You can look rough.
What I
The
would
tougher you
probably,
look, the better.
because I'm supposed to be representing the elves here to try and get something, I'll probably sort of dress up as how they dress up.
Yeah, again, your native clothing. Although they've tried both. The Calari elves that are here, every time they've gone to court, at first they went in what they consider to be their proper attire for them, which is, of course, it's the general fare, just cleaner, a little neater. Any jewelry of office was worn. Didn't seem to make an impression, so the next time they went, they wore the customary clothes that they saw in court at the time, which tends towards lots of bright colors and finery. Also, they got a little bit more attention that way, because let's face it, the beautiful elves cut a good figure in the finery of the time, but didn't really help them politically. So really up to you, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, what would Stottleheim suggest? What's he saying? We're sort of...
I think I'll look good, and you guys look tough to make me look better, because a noble only looks as good as the protection that he carries with him.
Give me a wisdom check, actually, Stoltheim, since you actually were a noble back in Averone.
In Averone, yeah.
Hey,
Success.
Okay, so very simply put, the noble is as rich as the finery of his least henchman. So if you're really wanting to make an impression, even your henchmen to look good. That's
least
what you would
henchman.
know. Your least henchman.
So we make Scrimbleshanks look good, and we're fine, right? No, we should all dress up. If this is anything like Averone.
Those Scrimbleshanks, in the meantime, me and Mesh get around to signing the document.
What document? He did. Is there a document? Should I sign something?
The GM said you did.
Yeah, I think we talked about this. I think Scrimbleshanks said he did join. There were some perks for sure, including legal defense.
No. Every time it was almost happening, we got pulled away somewhere else.
Okay. Well, we can certainly continue that fine tradition of Scrimbleshanks. He's got like half a name
into the ground.
He's got like half a name in the rolls. He hasn't quite finished it. No, it's like 2/3 of a name, and they're in different color ink for the first part, the second part.
Well, I need to reread it every time to make sure they haven't changed any of the documentation. That's how they get you.
It's like
thanks for reminding me, Dion. I forgot to change my stream, so if you're getting back to back commercials, remind me and I will fix that. I completely forgot.
Oh yeah, it started and then it went to another ad roll, and I was like, okay, you know what? Take it. I'm not missing much. You can sit there. And put me on
Twitch
ads all
changed
night.
some stuff. I think last week or the week before, and if they put the base setting at this, so I need to go back and change things.
Yeah, 1st September they changed a load of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I see ads. I don't have ad blocker on at all. No.
Yeah.
If you're subscribed, you won't be getting the ads, so it doesn't matter. You are doing it legally.
Subscribe now to avoid ads. Yes, there we go.
Exactly.
Right. So, Stoltheim, that's what you know from from your time at courts at Averone's. Courts can always be very, very position jockeying and classist, right? So like the least little thing wrong could be taken as a slight by someone, or can take it as a point of maneuvering against you. Now you're in a very rural kingdom, though. Remember, almost this entire, all of this area that Duke Stefan controls is pretty much wilderness. I mean, these are not fancy cities. The walls are usually timber walls. This is the first city you've been to since you've been here that actually has a stone castle, a proper castle wall around it.
Well, up here, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you don't know how much politicking actually is like Averone. So up to you what you want to do. But you are the representative. You are the new noble in the area with landed nobility.
We met the Baron of Penhalgun, right? Or whatever
You
his
did.
name was.
You did a Baron, yeah, not the Baron.
Was he
Oh, yeah.
was he very frou-frou, or was he like
He was an
super
old
macho?
military man. He was old military guy. Didn't stand on formality.
Yeah. So, you know what? We kind of leveled with him before, in a sense, even though we didn't like fully become friends.
He's
or
not the one
anything.
we got to make nice with,
Yeah.
though. She's the one we
Right.
got to make nice with. I don't even know that he'll be there. We don't even know that. Remember the game? Well, Galen's going with the game of getting the elves listened to and called and get the forest moved just a little bit further north. Just go a little bit further north.
I think we should make a big impression. I think we should all be looking really good. Not like super fancy. I'll be super fancy. You guys can be like medium fancy, you know, so they can look at you guys and be like, oh, they got money.
Do they have clothes that will fit me at the guild house?
They have clothes that a tailor can work with.
I have a
Okay.
bed
Like a
sheet.
couple of clothes to stick them together.
Yeah.
Okay. Concerned about that.
Mhm.
So the ball gowns for everyone.
Right. So Stroll time, you're taking some extra special care with how you look. Everyone
Yeah.
else, if you
Preening
wish,
my feather in my hat, and I'm fluffing my frills and looking extra poofy.
Mm-hmm.
I air pump my sleeves.
There you go. Yeah, no, do you spend time with the tailor, getting everything just right? There is somebody that can help you grooming as well, give you a nice trim, oil your beard, all that fun stuff. Anyone else that wants that as well. Radnor, since they actually are, the robes do kind of, a good cleaning is enough, because I believe the robes were magical, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, they don't look threadbare or torn at all after you get them nice and clean.
Right.
So you do actually cut a decent figure in it. If ominous, you're an ominous fat man.
I'll take like the advice of like maybe the tailor and maybe get some pointers from Stoltenheim too, just to stuff I could use to fancy up a bit, because I don't Radnor doesn't give a shit normally,
Mm-hmm.
but
I
want if maybe he can help me clean up or whatever.
I put some
And
flowers
to the
in your
left of where
beard.
people think you are?
Yeah.
I just like put some flowers in your beard every now and then, like scatter them out nicely, and like make sure the petals are positioned right, and then I put like I pull out a hat that's completely identical to mine, and I put it on your head.
Okay.
It's just a different color. Mine's purple, yours is like blue.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing that was suggested to you, being a magus, they do suggest that you have some kind of staff. The mages here are often seen with very fancy staffs. Other than that, your robes are fine. You get somebody to trim up your facial hair a bit, just a little, just to round off the edges, and that's all
Bring
good.
a staff.
Would I be able to find like a piece of wood to use for a staff that I might be able to do some things with at a later time?
At a later time, sure. Yeah.
Like I eventually will want to, imbue it with magical effects, but right now I just need something that looks good.
Yeah, I mean, you are in a town whose primary export is timber, so you can definitely find some nice wood. So really the question is, other than who's dressing up and who's not, is anyone going to try and bring weapons with them?
No, I left mine at the gates.
Okay.
I was allowed mine, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were all allowed them because of your status.
Mine's just a fancy dagger. It's decorative at best, so I just leave it there.
I have 13 daggers.
Oh my god. You just open your coat and you just have...
Yeah, I just...
No, these are all my steak knives. I need one for each steak, and I'm going to eat a lot of steak.
It checks out.
No, I have them, like, bring a barrel, and I just take them out one by one and place them I'll maybe leave the silver dagger and not tell them, but I take enough out that hopefully that'll satisfy them.
Stoltheim is not bringing a staff because so far it's worked pretty well that people don't realize he's a mage. So.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Take it.
All right. The guild arranges for a carriage for you to be dropped off at the Castle of Three Suns with.
Unless they tell him not to, Galen will be bringing his mace.
It would not do for you to walk through the streets to be there, especially with you as a newly landed Baron Stoltheim. Is there anything you want to do for preparation? Make sure you magic users have what spells you've got memorized. Jot it down.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me check.
Scrimbleshanks would like to read up on court etiquette and what the fashions at the moment are.
I am glad you stated that. Yes. Okay. So there is a bit of history that you're able to find out. As I kind of stated earlier, this is the first actual castle with stone walls that you've seen outside of Specularum. The prior lord here and the new lady, they have tried to bring the mannerisms of the court from Thyestia here. Okay, so like there is a knighthood. They have heavy cavalry here. They have a knightly order. So they're trying to bring that, the very Thyestian sensibilities here to this barbaric land. So they have a lot of court etiquette involved. There's a lot of it. On the other hand, because the lands they're in are traditionally Trolladaran lands, there are some of those customs that are still involved as well. So if you are a Trolladaran noble coming to court in your finest furs and leathers, it's not unheard of because you're claiming a cultural heritage by doing that, but it is a very courtly atmosphere. So yes, having the right politeness and manners could be very important. Could be very, very life-threatening important.
Well, I will try desperately to impart this information to everybody, whether they listen or not.
Scrimbleshanks is going to be behind everybody with a big Miss Manners book opened up, reading out of. Now, it's the salad fork on the left.
Never stab anybody with the salad fork. It is a horrible faux pas.
Would I happen to have like a brooch that's been on my clothing depicting my family name of some sort? Not that I want it to be magical or anything, but like, would I have something to show I'm
You want
Amber
bling
line?
with your name on it? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, I want like a brooch that shows like I'm Amber lineage.
Ooh.
Or like something like, obviously it'd be like thousands of years down the line, so they wouldn't know what the hell it means at this point because my last name's Reinbach and not Amber.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah. There's other than there's nothing really distinguishing other than the Amber family crest, which you didn't wear it in Avalon because that was considered bad. That's a demon haunted lineage. If you wanted to have an heirloom of it, sure.
So wait, that was in the future?
Yeah, kind of. In
So
a
it's
sense.
like Back to the Future, only completely different.
Yeah.
If you want to say that your family kept some of the Amber heirlooms, like a crest or a seal, and you have one, I'm not opposed to it. It's just something that you definitely would not have worn out in public in Averone.
Right. Something that I kept like on me.
You could have a signet ring, for instance, with a family crest on it with the Amber gemstone. That would be nice.
Yeah, just an extra non-magical ring that's just on an extra finger.
Yep.
Okay.
It's got their seal on it, so you would use it for sealing letters, that sort of thing. Wax seal.
Yeah, has a signet ring. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Scrimbleshanks, I'll tell you what, make me an intelligence check to see how much you can bone up on proper etiquette beforehand. You don't have a lot of time.
Can I help with that too?
No, you're too busy doing your
Oh,
wardrobe,
okay, I'm
man.
preening.
And
All right, I'm getting everybody looking nice. Yeah.
Wow, if only. Oh, crit.
oh,
Crit.
crit
Wow.
success! Wow.
I know everything. I will impart it all in the
Yeah.
best way
Yeah,
possible.
but it's a
You're
charisma
pretty
check
sure
to
that you've
impart
got
it.
the gross
Yep.
niceties that will keep somebody from being offended to the point of wanting a blood duel. You're pretty sure you got the major points.
But what if you want a blood duel?
Well, then you know which ones to press, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the day is spent in preparation. If there's nothing else you want to do, a carriage is hired. You're brought to the court, where, of course, every other dignitary, noble, and landed gentry is also being dropped off on carriage as well. The castle is lit up with these intricate paper boats that are floating in. If you'll look at the map, there's this oh heck, what are they called? Moat. That's a moat, right? Is that word correct?
Around the castle, yes.
Yeah. So they have these intricate wood and paper boats that also act like lanterns with candles that are just floating, multicolored, kind of lighting everything up. You hear just in passing that it's not just an informal gathering. What it is the old ruler's birthday would have been today. So it's a celebratory day because of that.
But they conveniently died within the last day or so? Is that what you're saying?
No.
No? And a new ruler has taken over? No? Nothing like that?
Topical reference for those of us watching in the future.
Indeed.
So as you are disembarking, you notice that there are some we'll call them commoner rabble kind of around as well. It looks like during these festival days the castle have there's people from the scullery coming out with trays of baked goods that they're just handing out to any of the commoners that are coming by, just giving food out. But there's a group of commoners that this one young lad keeps trying to approach any nobility he sees coming out of a carriage. Usually they're, we'll just call them bodyguards, or their help kind of just wave them off so he doesn't ever get too close. But it looks like he's trying to get the attention of just any noble that will give him a passing moment. And eventually your carriage pulls up, and you're kind of new. So there are a lot of people kind of looking to see who the new noble in town is, looking at how you are presenting yourself, who's coming out of the carriage with you. This a fairly dressed young man, obviously not part of the nobility, is trying to get your attention. As Stoltheim, you step out of the carriage first, of course, wanting to make the best impression. It's like, sir, your highness, sir, as he's trying to get over the crowd and get your attention.
Yes, young man. What can I do for you?
He stops for a moment, looks around like, me? You'll
Well,
talk to
yes.
me?
Well, yes, you addressed me. It's only fair.
He takes his hat off and he kind of steps in, pushing through the line of people that are kind of gathered around to see who the nobility in town is. Like, begging your pardon, sir. We're just trying to find a sponsor for tonight.
A sponsor for what?
For the activities, sir. I have a fighter, but we need a noble to be one of our to allow us in and to give us proper introduction, sir.
You have a fighter, you say. Where are they? Let me meet them.
He looks around. He's got a big grin on his face. He gets a loud whistle, and this hulking brute of a person, if he weren't a halfling, he's twice as wide as he is tall. Kind of just comes through the crowd. Very thick around the shoulders and chest. His legs are like tree trunks. Unfortunately, he only stands about 3'7", 3'8".
Oh, look at your champion. He's marvelous. I take my hat off and I kind of flourish a quick little polite bow to him. Like, oh, I am impressed at your Visage of strength. What is your names? What are your names?
Well, sir, his name's Flint. I'm afraid he doesn't talk too much. He was wounded as a young child, sir. I speak for us. We're this is a business proposition, sure. Fighters, if they do well or create enough of entertainment, are often rewarded quite handsomely by the crowd. And of course, we would split those profits with you, sir, 50-50.
Now, why would you want to fight amongst this stuff when you could work for the wonderful Green Company?
Work. He kind of works that word around his mouth. Yeah. Work. Yeah. Well, sir, sorry to take up your time, sir. Sir, we were just looking for a patron, sir. No offense meant. No offense meant.
Well, you know what? If you need a sponsor, I do need a champion. So, sure.
Oh, he just looks elated. He's like, "Oh yes, what is your noble family, sir, that we might enter the festivities?"
I am Stoltheim Rheinbach the Seventh of what's it called? Stalingard, Stalinford,
Allenford.
Stoltholm,
It is now Stoltholm.
Stoltholm.
Awesome. He kind of mouths it until he gets it right. Stoltheim of. Okay. The seventh.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Very important.
Right. We will be your champion for the evening, sir, and we will split the profits with you.
Sure.
Oh yeah, he looks elated. He turns around. He finds a guard. He's like, "Did you hear? We have a patron. Will you let us in now?" The guard kind of looks at you, Stoltheim.
I look at the guard. I thumbs up with a big dorky smile.
The whole time Dion was talking to him, I was like standing behind him, like making rabbit ears and dancing and stuff.
Behind the guard or
Yeah.
behind. All right. Well, the guard kind of looks over at the halfling and the young man who made the proposition with you. He didn't tell you his name, but he looks over at him and says, "Your funeral." And they kind of nod and they let the halfling giant, the Titan halfling, go in the side door.
What is the name of that race of halfling? Is it Stoneheart or something like that? Halflings that are like the really bulky ones.
Well, in this world, the halfling, they're called the hen. They don't have a particular giant sized halfling here, so he is kind of abnormality. Yeah, Scrimbleshanks, you have no idea. That was no halfling you've ever seen.
Oh, no. I mean, it could be. Why they...
This is what happens when halfling bards woo the giants. That's just what happens.
This is what happens when you get down south and they started the reading.
Yeah. Oh,
The cerebral changes down south and where it normally is. So, yeah.
that's true. You guys are introduced. There's a fair number of nobility ahead of you. Someone is coached to specifically be able to say your name correctly, your lineage, and your new landed title. You are introduced to the court. As you coming in, the court is a magnificent setup to be like a ballroom. There are several musicians playing just around the room in small groups, not too loud to offend any or overstep another musician's loudness level, if you want. You notice there are various contests going on as well. It has a very festive atmosphere, but the kind of the center of the courtroom is very regal. There's dining tables set up. You are brought to your table. You have a table of your own, Stoltheim, for you and your guests that you brought.
Table.
They're just laden down with all kinds of food from the region, as well as a lot of Thaetian delicacies as well. And again, you have your own table. Next to you on the left is, you heard them being introduced as well. The delegation from Threshold is on your left. The delegation from Kelvin is on your right. Specularum Duke Stefan hasn't seen fit to send anyone. And there is some table talk going around of whether that's a snub or not.
Well, we're with Duke Stefan, right?
Technically, you're here as the new landed gentry of the property that was just taken over. Not technically from Duke Stefan. I mean, you can play that up if you want, but that's not why you are here.
Okay, no, I
There's
won't.
lots of other companies here as well from also
Yeah.
under the Duke's thing, actually. So.
The games that are going on are a mix of customary Thyation and Trolladarin. The Trolladarin ones are kind of charmingly interesting. You are already familiar with the custom of well, I forget what I called it, but it's basically the Yo Mama contests where where you have to incite the other party to the point of violence. You lose face if you resort to violence as you insult one another. Another Trolladarin custom, which you've never seen before, which is fascinating, Stoltheim, and it's the closest one next to you, is two people face each other over a bench and they take turns slapping each other.
Oh! I'm like clapping every time someone gets slapped. Oh, good show!
It sounds funny, but it's really brutal.
Yeah,
you
I'm
see
still
one
clapping.
guy just kind of this huge logging worker. It looks like this the paw the size of your head almost slap this other person's face off. You distinctly hear the breaking of bone as the other person goes down.
Radnar, what's your strength? Is it still high?
It's down to 14, but
that's good enough. Get in there. No.
On the Phaeacian custom area, there are knife throwing contests. There is an archery contest taking place as well, and a very interesting jousting contest, as the knights are all wearing like paper armor, and their lances are just very thin stabs that shatter easily, but they are on the backs of great hounds, where their legs they have to hold their legs out in front of them to not touch the ground, but the hounds are large enough to hold their weight as they joust towards each other on these large hunting dogs.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and so all of this is going around. It's a very festive atmosphere. The people on the edges who are minor nobility, the tables are centered so that those closest to the middle are of higher nobility, and as you go out, you're lesser nobility, until the people at the very edges may just be wealthy merchants. Right.
Where are we? Are we in the center area?
You're not in the dead center, but you're pretty close. You're pretty close.
Is there like dancing going on or just music?
There is music. There is, again, the Trolladarans seem to be less formal, and there are some like liken it to like clog dancing or line dancing going on.
Stoltheim's gonna go over until there's like an announcement to like be seated or whatever, and he's gonna want to learn. I have a dancing +1 skill.
Yeah. No, it has a lot of formality to it. It's surprisingly intricate. And the lines starts off as male, female opposing, coming together, and then they pair off, and then they triple off, quadruple off, and it makes these, like, if you're getting just a slightly elevated position, make these fascinating patterns if you're looking, from the top down upon them. It's very intricate.
I try to join in if they let me.
They do. You're given a little instruction with all the younglings being taught.
I'm like super excited and eager to learn. Like, oh, this culture is fascinating. Thank you. Yes.
So each table again is kind of like that is your country, if you want to call it that, right? So there are people going from table to table, talking a little bit of politics, talking a little bit of trade. No one's approached your table yet. Again, the closest ones to you are Kelvin and Threshold. Salonika is not very far. These are all cities in this upper quadrant of the King Stefan or Duke Stefan's duchy here. It seems like people are trying to see. They want to see how you are acting before anyone is coming. Like everyone's watching you very carefully, but nobody's really coming over to speak to you.
I'm just
Stoltheim just
friendly.
jumps in and starts dancing with the Trolladarens. You are definitely dressed much fancier than Trolladaren dress.
I'm just super eager to like meet people, and like I'm introducing myself individually to people in between dances. Like I'm just like very personable. I'm just dilettanting this up.
That's fine. That's one of the skills I think you had is you're good at the mingling. Bradnar, you notice that there are some mages around having small contests with one another. They've kind of faced off over a length of floor, throwing spells, simple spells back and forth, mostly things creating a lot of illusion and light, trying to get one over on each other. If you guys can give me just 1 second, let me.
Master Spectic Bells, exactly.
I'm really trying not to do it because it'd be stupid to waste a 5th level spell on that. But
hey, it would certainly bring color to the proceedings.
No, I think I'm gonna observe them for a little bit just to see if I can gauge the level of power we're talking
Bear's
about.
not paying attention, so don't worry.
I'm gonna take off my robe and just dance around naked, and
Yep.
And if any guards say anything to me, I'm gonna take their weapons and shove them up my ass.
You're not going to accuse them of being assassins, first of all.
They are assassins. Well, I was going to accuse them of being assassins, but then I remembered Fig Jam isn't here, so they're not.
Yeah. There we go.
Good old Fig Jam.
You guys miss him more than I do.
I do miss that
I miss
guy.
him so much.
I miss Darby.
Me too.
Yeah.
Darby, come back. You can blame it all on me.
And take it. Oh yeah, mass dyspeptic bowels on all the mages.
All right, sorry. Questions from the wife. So that you see that going around. Scrimbleshanks.
Just tell her to get in the chat and ask them, damn it. Sorry.
There are a few hen around, only a few of which are in servitor-like positions. It looks like some of them are staff for some of the other nobles that are here. But you see that there is a table of the hen. Kind of looking around occasionally, one of them will break off and go to one of the other tables, have a quick chat, and then come back kind of dejected looking. They're kind of talking amongst each other. Looks like they're trying to decide what other tables to approach. They've been shot down by both Salonika and Kelvin at this point.
Well, I'm certain I know where I will be going when it will be my turn to dominate the proceedings. But yeah.
Galen, there are a few of the elves here, the forest elves. They are at their own table, but they don't really seem to be. They're enjoying some of the music, but they really don't seem to be doing much other than just talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, I kind of suspected as much because there's all these humans around. What's do?
All right, so that's the setting. Yeah,
I'll go hobnob with them.
Okay, so you guys are. Well, some of you are breaking away from your table then. All right, so I'm going to zoom in the map so you can kind of see what I'm talking about for these places
look on
here.
the right screen and actually have a look at it. No, you've just got it on that one, not on that.
Yeah, let me move the players thing here so you guys can see this too. There we go. So Penhaligon is here. Threshold is here. Okay, this area that I've got out in highlight is your territory. Kelvin's down here. Selenica is a little further. I'm not sure. Where is it on the map here? Threshold's up here.
Seneca's not worthy of being on the map.
Oh, no, it's here. It is a smaller place, though. If I got it covered up by something, not sure. But it's in the same region. I think it's supposed to be just outside of this area. It may not be on this map, actually.
No.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's all the areas that are just around where Penhaligon is. So there we go. Okay. Who wants to do something first?
Radnor does.
Yeah, I'm gonna start paying attention to the mages and kind of see if I can gauge the power level of these folks here.
Make me an intelligence check.
All right. Intelligence is 18.
Okay, low success.
Success.
They're probably pretty good. I mean, they're holding back. They're not throwing like lethal spells at each other. They're just light spells. One will cast, one will try and counter it. You counter a spell by casting the similar spell that you may know, or something that might defend or deflect, sort of thing, back and forth. So you think they're probably of a similar, if maybe a little lesser than you, but you've not seen this kind of intermajory kind of conflict before, because they're definitely not trying to harm one another.
Right. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by it.
Yeah. They're apparently wagering spells.
They're wagering spells.
Yep. Spells that they said like, oh, I don't know this one, you don't know this one, we'll wager our spells, So if you win, I will teach you this spell.
Oh, why not? I'll sort of introduce myself during the lull in the festivities there, and say, you seem like Bert drinking out of a big green jug.
Yes.
Now, I'll introduce myself and say, hi, I'm Radnor, and notice you guys were having a little bit of a competition there.
Oh, yes. It's a way to while away the time here at the court and learn a bit of new arcane information. What school, and he kind of looks you up and down, did you study at?
The player forgets the name of it, but the character says, oh, well, it's blah, 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 blah.
Yep. I think we worked out that you did actually study in Galantry because you were the one that knew a little bit about,
Yes.
All right. Oh, Galantry. Oh, well educated indeed. We are bartering low-level spells, nothing substantial. What do you have to offer?
Well, I have a spell that I affectionately named after myself called Radnor's Dyspeptic Bowels.
What level is that?
That's a first level spell.
It's a first level spell. Okay.
They said low level, so I figured that was probably one they didn't have.
Well. And Chauncey here has a spell that will allow you to turn wine into vinegar.
Might be interested in the other way around, but
a much higher level spell, I assure you. But good cooking vinegar is hard to come by. How about I have a spell that will cause any vegetation in the area to grow very quickly.
That sounds interesting.
I use it to cultivate my own pipeweed.
There's something I could use.
Oh, well, very good, very good. Yes. Now, the rules. We're not trying to malign or injure each other. Nothing
Oh,
permanent, leastways.
Of course not.
Okay. Well, we will start at distance. If you will see here on this track, we're going to start this. We're going to start 20 feet apart, and then after each foray, we're going to move a bit closer until we are at the very middle here. Whoever reaches that first and is still standing will win the spell.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you're going to enter. All right. So the one that he was kind of pointing at, Chauncey, is just dressed all in black. He's got some gold weaving through it. Lots of geometric pattern designs. You get the idea that he is also Phaeacian, which I believe you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trained at a school in Phaeacia, not here. He does have no wands, no magical accoutrements. It's just your knowledge versus his knowledge.
Okay.
All right. So what are you going to cast?
Hey, I might as well start off with the thing we're wagering. I cast Dyspeptic Bowels.
You're going to cast Dyspeptic Bowels. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, he's going to start off with something very simple and cast light. So we're going to make an initiative roll.
All right. It's D6.
Yep. If you have a dexterity bonus, you can add it. Or minus it if you've got a negative, as this is single combat. Oh, simultaneous. This will be fun. So he gets his spell off and he casts light at your eyes. And you get Dyspeptic Bowels off. Since it's simultaneous, I will say that you are able to target him because it will happen at exactly the same time. He gets a save, and I believe you get a save when it is done as a targeted spell.
Yeah.
Yep. So you go ahead and make your save. He's going to do his
spell, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Last I knew, we had 3 rerolls unless we got more last week.
Don't need it.
He fails. So yeah, he cast the spell. It doesn't take effect on you. Your spell does take effect on him, and he doesn't know what's happening at first. And you both take that measured step forward, and you're beginning to draw upon your powers again. Where he suddenly kind of just grabs his gut and just turns over, and there's just like the music comes to a screeching halt. Like even the dancers kind of stop mid-step as poor Chauncey just voids himself from both ends, leaving you to just casually walk to the center and win the conflict.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Everyone is kind of shocked and stunned, though. The mage you were talking to just kind of looks aghast at Chauncey and just kind of doesn't even look at you as he kind of hands Chauncey's spell scroll to you.
You know what? I'm going to. I believe I do have some scrolls of this. Just to be a good sport, I'm going to give him my spell scroll too, just of my own volition. Because I just feel bad at making him look bad.
He's dropped to his knees. He's just in a pile of his own filth. Everyone is just stop. Everything is just stop.
Set the scroll down in the puddle he leaves. Just
some of his aides come by, and everyone's just like kind of hushed and talking. You know, like there's some muttering going on as they take him off. There's a few people come by and just with mops just start cleaning the area. The music starts again. The person you were talking to, Radnar, kind of turns to you. He's very pale. He says, "Oh, poor form, my friend. You may have made an enemy in that one."
I mean, I didn't hurt him.
That is subjective. His pride has certainly been hurt in public. We shall see. We shall see. Yes. Yes.
Perhaps
Well,
would you tell him when he is recovered enough that I would like to have a word with him if he has a minute.
How long should these effects carry on for?
Oh, just like a couple of rounds. Yeah, it's D4. It's D4 rounds, which if I'm going to roll the D4, it's 3 rounds.
Okay.
However long that is, so it's not.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. You are with the new dignitaries. He points to your table. Right.
Yes.
We shall see. I'll tell him you meant no offense. New to the game and all. Yes. Some of that. So, mop. Some of it made its way over. Mop. All right. Who wants a scene?
Scrimbleshanks does.
Sure. Scrimbleshanks can do a thing. If we're going to continue with this nominate a person thing, that's great.
All right.
All right. Do. I mean, I guess I'm going to wander over to the delegates that I noticed before from there and see what they're looking at and talking about. And
right. So you come in. It's the mood of the table is very, very much down, despite the very festive environment that's going on. They kind of look over and they kind of look you up and down, give you a nod. Says, "Hi, Rustov from the Five Shires. I don't believe you're a countryman of ours."
My name is known far and wide by many a people. I am the renowned Scrimbleshanks. Perhaps you have heard tell of me and my amazing tales?
Everyone looks around. No, friend, no. Though you might be of help to us if you are interested. We're trying to get one of these nobles to listen to our plight. No one seems to care.
You've come to the right place. I have found lots of other people who don't care.
Oh, well, we're trying to find ones that do.
That is more difficult. Maybe I can help. I don't know. What do you want them to care about specifically?
Slavers, sir. We're having many of our population go missing, and we feel fairly certain we know from whence these raids are coming, but no one will listen to us or believe us.
They won't believe you.
Well, it has to do with the Shires, good sir, it's very close to the Black Eagle barony and Duke Stefan's own cousin. And we are very sure that they're operating out of the barony. Now, we would not give any dispersion towards the Duke's own blood, of course, but they are operating out of the barony, the Black Eagle barony. No one will take us seriously or listen to our complaints to send in an investigation there to find if our brethren are being held. For what reason, we don't know, but this has been going on for years.
Years?
Years.
Oh. Surprised I haven't heard of that before, given how far and wide.
I know, right? No one will listen.
Okay. Well, not even among my own people. Well, still. I mean, you have found possibly the right well, not exactly noble baron. Maybe I'll talk to my people over there. They might be interested in doing a thing at some point. I mean, I don't know why everybody's not listening to you, though.
Well, I think it's political. They don't want anything
against
may involve the Duke.
Baron. Yes, I see. Well, Maybe you
noticing
could
there
start
are
by
some
talking
things
to them to
missing
somebody else.
on the map because I'm trying to find the Shire region. I'm pretty sure it's like
It's
right
not
over here,
there.
but it's not listed.
It's been stolen.
The whole thing has
That's
been
why.
stolen.
Yeah,
Just
makes
stolen
sense.
right off the maps, apparently.
Exactly.
No, I mean, and they basically tell you that, yeah, for several years now, it's been a thing. First, it was just assumed that adventurous nature, their populace had just been going off to find fame and fortune outside of the Five Shires. But now it's even farmers going missing. It became just a child's boogeyman. If you don't listen to your parents, you'll be taken in the night. Well, children did start getting taken in the night.
Oh,
Um,
God. Children.
Yep. Yeah, so they
Wow,
tell you
this-
their suspicions. They've documented as best they can. They say it's a group that calls themselves the Iron Ring. They are positive that they are actively working out of the Black Eagle Barony.
We've heard that term before, the Iron Ring.
You haven't, but the group has.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very aware of it.
Mhm.
Mm.
Well, I have never heard of this Iron Ring.
Yep.
Can't even spell Iron Ring. Spelling the word Iron Ringling. Nope. Well, I will try desperately to remember this words and spread it among my friends over there while they're doing things. If you don't think there's anybody else here who can help
No one
you,
else will give us the time of day.
no one at
The
all.
Corelli elves.
I could use my legendary persuasive powers to
The
talk to them on
elves
your behalf.
will give us a sympathetic ear, but they really don't have the power to do anything.
All right. Well, maybe at some point in the future we will deal with this problem for you.
Hopefully soon. We are dwindling mightily. My own sister went missing last summer.
Well, now you don't have to share the inheritance. And I turn around and leave.
Yeah, it's like, what an ass. All right. Stoltheim. Let's go with you next.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So you just jump right in, despite your finery. You are blending in with the Trolladarans and their customs and their very intricate dancing. So dancing. Why don't you give me maybe a charisma check?
Okay, and this is going to get a +1 due to my dancing +1.
Well, I'll give you another +1 on top of it because you're very good at carousing with folks too, right?
Ooh, and do I get another +1 because of my stylish cursed cloak?
Yeah, that's because that's its magic effect, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes your charisma 3 higher than it would normally be.
I think this works this way, right? Did that work? Yeah, -3. Yep. Semi-high success?
Yeah, that's a good
That's
success.
the
Yeah.
odd thing. You don't really want to take it off the roll because getting an 11 out of
Yeah.
15 is better than getting an 8.
Yeah.
Because
so,
the crit. But so that works. So yeah, I mean, people seem to you're doing well with the dancing. People are opening up to you and speaking to you more. They can tell right away because your accent is different that you aren't you're not Trolladarian or Thyatian, and that brings up some speculation as well. I'm going to make a check here. Okay, no one's made comment about your Amber family crest that you're showing off.
Well, I'm not showing it off. It's just there.
It's there.
Yeah.
So no one's really pointing it out. All right. Is there anything that you wanted to learn while you're in here with this? I mean, you're getting on pretty well with the Trolladaran population here.
I'm going to finish up with them. And I actually want to go and check with, would I know, like, Calvin was pretty close to our area or threshold?
You've seen maps. Yeah. You've seen maps.
I'd go to the threshold table first.
Okay.
And I would introduce myself, is it morning or nighttime right now?
Oh, this is evening.
Okay. Good evening. I am Stolten Rembach the Seventh. I am the current is it Baron or Duke?
Baron.
The current Baron of Stoltholm. I am aware from looking at maps of this area that we're very close together. I want to introduce myself. You know, we're practically neighbors.
Gunner, and he puts his hand out. He's dressed well, but even having said that, his hands are heavily calloused. He's a very thick, meaty man. It's like, yes, we are neighbors over the mountains. Primarily, we deal with timber, as do most around here, but we don't have very adequate access to the river. But we do mining as well. So you got that decrepit piece, wonderful territory of land to the east, did you?
Yes, and I look forward to building it up to a glory to behold in its name.
You've got some work ahead of you.
I'm
Certainly.
willing for the challenge.
No direct road to King's Road. You've got a problem in your hills there. I understand that most of your farmers have fled.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Many of
they
them
have.
came over the mountains and have sought employment here in Threshold.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I do. You said you're good at the mining.
We do mining, yes.
We happen to have an old mine in our area. Do you know anything about that?
Well, knowing the area, it's probably copper, tin, maybe silver, but likely copper or tin.
Interesting, interesting. And you guys, you said the hills are between us. You know what are you? Are you the Baron of Threshold?
Oh yes, yes. Just the town proper. Our land grant doesn't go much outside. Of course, the mountains around us are not. It's still Duke Stefan's royal domain.
I understand. Yes. Well, perhaps once this land, gets a little more developed, we could talk about maybe building a road to each
A
other.
road, yes. You
Travel neighbors. We should be, able to travel to each other easily in our time of need.
Well, yes. Some of the original workers on the Grand Road have, are now working in Threshold. Of course, the dwarves in the High Forge. You can likely get a team there as well and connect a road. We'd certainly, if you would like to develop one between your own domain and Threshold, we'd like a joint operation in that. It would be very useful to us to have access through that way. I mean, assuming you get your creature problem sorted.
Are you talking of the hill giants?
The hill giants, and well, you have a little bit of an infestation of orcs and goblins in that area. Are Forgive me for saying so. It's not that we're spying on you. It's just we share a very common border. There have been surveys telling us that there's been a large conglomeration of orcs, goblins to the mountains to your north.
Well, let me tell you. I doubt that'll serve as much of a problem much longer, but we're doing our best to make sure that this land can be a nice safe haven for all walks of life. I adore meeting people of all types, and it's just such a fulfilling experience for me to be able to open these doors and hope that it can become something wonderful for everyone.
You have spent time in the court. I see. We talk plainly in Threshold. We are all working men, even those of us that have land and title. We still work for a living. He kind of holds out his hand.
I shake it with both
Okay.
hands. Like
When
I
you
take it and
when
then
you take his hand, though, he
Mm.
kind of turns your hand so that your
Mm.
palm is facing up.
Okay.
And of course, you've got just like the soft, smooth palms of a.
Yeah, of them. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and as I see, you are not a man who's engaged much in physical activity.
While physical activity may be something to be admired by someone such as myself, I guarantee you that my work in the Green Company has not gone unnoticed, and that me and my men are diligent in the things that we do, and I assure you, we do it very well.
All right, make me another charisma check. Your fancy dress is not going to help because that actually detracts, but your magical cloak does, since it's magical.
Okay, so it's a bonus of +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, so you have a charter from the Duke.
I failed the charisma check,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
but he asked about a charter. That's like,
When you said that you were part of a green company, it's like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you're chartered. Oh, so
Yes.
not hereditary or claim any lineage to the land. It was awarded as a title.
Ah, yes, I'm not from around here. I'm from a far, far off land, and I've happened across this place by happenstance, though, this charter and this responsibility I take with the highest amount of respect, and I do take it seriously. I know that my mannerisms and my
Yeah. So as you
words
continue
are
to talk, it's like,
flowery.
let's dispense with the formalities. I'm a man whose his time is limited in conversation. Are you perhaps unmarried?
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm. The Duke hasn't seen fit to allow the purchasing of land and title, but if you were to marry one of my many daughters,
Hmm.
we might make a very good union of your territory and our city.
Ah, well, we'll just have to see what type of territory I become, and then maybe we'll talk about having a party later.
Yes, my daughter would come with a very large dowry. We are a small city threshold, but very lucrative from our mining and lumber industries. We will talk later. Perhaps one of my many fine daughters will be joining the festivities later this evening.
Well, I look forward to being able to have her dance. And I'm just gonna
Yep.
flounce away.
Yeah. He made no mention of introducing you to any of his sons. So how very backwater. It's
Exactly.
just, it's very sad.
Maybe I'll get lucky with Kelvin. I'm gonna, while someone else does something, I'll mosey over that way.
Well, Richard, fine daughters. It is a logging community. You got to figure that they're all like, they're not mint and shrink. Probably, a little edge wear to them there. Definitely not mint or near mint. Yes. Right. So still time. You're doing all that. So let's fall with Jameis. So basically they're just keeping themselves at the table. They've been shot down every chance they've tried to get, to register any kind of complaint or seek any help. They still show up to these things, especially tonight. Some new delegation, yours. Yep. But they have all the patience of a very long-lived race. So they will wait out until one of these humans dies and somebody else takes over that are willing to listen. However many generations that might take.
Yeah, I'll ask them what they've sort of proposed so far, just so I can not do that, and also if they can point out where the Baron is, because I haven't seen her around at all.
Yep, no, you have not. She has not graced the dining hall and the festivities yet, although it's still fairly early in the evening. Yeah, so they've had no luck. The most luck that they've had so far is Castellan Keep, far over here to the edge. Well, they do have this river here that they would be running logs through for that as well. They are not interested in foresting this area. Of course, they're mostly in the mountains, but the area that they're claiming, this is named Castellan River, for the keep that's up here. They have no interest in pushing their boundaries further, so they've agreed to stay out of the woodlands in this area and the low-lying hills. They actually do have treaty isn't the right word because only the Duke can make a treaty in these lands, but they have an agreement with the current lords of Castellan. They have their own problems going on from the north.
Is that your dog we can hear?
That is the jousting going on the wolfhounds. Yes. He doesn't like it when I stream. He's like, you're not paying attention to me. Come on, woofers. You're okay.
He was worse on Tuesday.
Yes, he was. I have no extra treats to give him. That's probably why. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, so that's the best they can do. Really what they want is for Penhaligon to stop their foresting because technically, so you can see the red here that's just right around right. So that is their boundary, but they're logging outside of it, which unless the Duke really cares or grants that territory to someone else, it doesn't really matter, but they shouldn't be, just as a matter of course they shouldn't be. And they're asking them to stop pushing into the forest so much because they are starting to cause problems. And so far the lady isn't willing to stop.
Now we've got woods that we're able to forest ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time.
So that's pretty much what our counter proposal is going to be. Of, come over here and do this, but yeah.
Well, you have this buffer zone that's between you and Penhaligon. These two hexes here that are forested. Yeah, that could be used. It's mostly because the woodlands that are within her bounds have already been. They're stripped. They've already.
We don't do sustainable forestry around here. We haven't heard of that much.
No.
Very. Considering you've got magic, we can just grow things and just go. Okay, we plant the forest, grow the forest.
Well, those that can have the cleric or the mage do it. But there aren't that many clerics and mages around.
No. And the clerics having their own problems at the moment.
They are.
We did just get a plant growth spell, didn't we? You're going to be popping out scrolls, mister.
All right. So is there anything you wanted to do with them? I mean, so yeah, you know what their plight was prior to this, but this is the first that you've heard of what has and hasn't actually happened for them.
Yeah. Not really. We are mainly waiting for the Baron to turn up and have a chat with her, which I'm sure it's going to go swimmingly.
Right. I mean, if you ask, they tell you that they've been here for a while. So this is not the first year that they've been here. She usually turns up after midnight, after all the frivolities are done. And that's when she kind of holds court over people wanting to make deals and contracts, and things are not quite as festive.
Okay.
So as you're saying this, they are making announcements of the fights. The fights are bare knuckle competitions. Each fighter has a patron, one of the many guests that were invited here, and then there's definitely heavy wagering going on. So Stoltheim, you hear Flint's name is announced and about to go on. And so again, this just insanely huge, as far as wide, muscular halfling, all oiled up, wearing like a bear skin, it's not really trousers, but just like a covering, steps into the ring. And against him is just this burly giant of a man. It's like 6'5". They go over the rules. It's just basically a bare knuckle brawl. Either knock out your opponent or get them outside of the ring to win. Of course, it's supposed to be non-lethal. It's considered bad sport to kill your opponent. Buddy, stop. Pooch. All right. Say hello to everybody and then go away. Okay? Say hello. Okay, Stoltheim, you're and of course, you as the patron are announced as well. So the new Baron Stoltheim and his fighter Flint, and everybody just starts laughing. You've got this like under 4 foot tall, mighty as he is, halfling facing off against this 6 foot, 6'5" giant of a man.
All right. I'm gonna just like go up to Flynn and put my hands on his shoulders and lean down and go, I believe in you. Now is the time for you to believe in yourself. This is your chance. And I just let him go.
Nice.
All right.
On Flint.
Yep. I rolled ahead of time for a few of these. So the bout is actually over very quickly as Flint kind of wades in as the guy's still laughing. It just basically plays boxing with his testicles until he falls over, and he just drags the guy outside of the ring. Just throws him out.
Woo! Oh, good show, Flynn. Good job. Good job.
There is like from the table of the hen, the halflings. There's like slow clapping, like what just. I guess as they clap. Some of the others that are on, the onlookers are just taken aback about it, what just happened, and then they're like, "Oh, all right." And Flint is showered with coins. The people just start throwing coins down into this small pit, and of course, his manager is collecting it all up. Yeah. So these fights go on through the night as different sponsored pugilists enter the rings.
I'm gonna talk to the manager for a second. I kind of sidle up to him a bit and I go, so where are you two from?
Oh, to hear about, sir. We've been here in this marvelous city for a few months now, just trying to make some coin as we head down south. We hope to see the big city.
Specularum?
Indeed, sir. We've heard that there's so much opportunity there.
It's a great city. It's a great city. If you were to, get time to want to settle down somewhere, my hold is open. We have a good amount of land and...
I'm afraid it's the wandering life for us, sir. We were held down for too many years in our hometown, and we wish to experience the great wilds and cities that are just ripe for the yes, sir.
Yes.
All legal kinds of things that we do, sir.
Oh, absolutely. And I wink.
I don't know what that means, sir.
I totally understand. Anything to get by in this day and age.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Traditionally, we split the proceeds at the end of the evening. But if you need a bit to do some gambling tonight, sir, we can certainly part out what we have now.
Honestly, I would like to have you hold on to it until the end of the evening.
Oh, well, yes. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fights continue, none of them quite as thrilling as the giant versus the quarterling. But that goes on. So more meals, more entertainments passing by. If anyone wants to do anything, we'll just cut through, though, that if you want to engage in the archer or anything, it's all for fun for the most part. Radnar, the man you were talking to after a while comes back and says, I'm afraid Chauncey took it not so well. He has retired for the evening. The folks that were helping him clean up swear that he took out a blood oath to destroy you. I don't know how much truth there was. I mean, he's probably just a little hot-headed still. He will see calmer notions in the morning. No doubt. Oh,
I understand. If someone had done that to me, I'd probably want to destroy them too. We'll see if he feels better in the morning, and I will attempt to talk with him again. Just noted that I am attempting to make peace in case there's ever a.
oh yes, I tried to intercede on your behalf, sir. Even offered them the spell scroll, which he just simply used to wipe a bit of the um, waste off himself and threw it in the fire.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Yes, he was quite mad, quite mad.
Well, he can come talk to me, and he's welcome to come try to destroy me if he wishes. I hope he doesn't, but see.
Yes. Gallantry educated, sir. He was just take care. Take care. He just tentatively claps you on the back. Just take care, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the warning.
There seems to be some coin passing back and forth as the other mages are whispering, some of them looking in your direction.
Okay, so this guy going around talking smack about me.
Oh no, not the guy that you were just talking to. Like some of the other mages are looking at you and kind of like they're gauging you, and there's like passing coins back and forth between them. I think there's some betting going on.
So I'm going to infer from that this guy has something planned and he's told some people. So, okay.
Yep.
I'll be on the lookout.
Okay. More fights go on. Flint fights twice more. He wins one of them, and then kind of fights to a draw on the third as he knocks his opponent out, but he is also knocked out himself. So they declare no winner on the third, but both of them are still showered with coins for putting on a good expedition, or not expedition, what is it called?
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
When you say knocked out, do you mean of the ring or consciousness?
Unconscious. Yes.
So they're showered in coins while unconscious. Right. Fine.
Well, both managers are out there to pick up the coins.
Yeah. Still.
And then that gets into a boxing match. More coins are thrown as the managers throw down. Yeah. But many hours later,
that will turn into a Yo Mama fight. Actually.
Yeah. Many hours later, all the festivities start to wind down. More hot beverages are brought out for the coolness of the night. Most of the entertainers are all packing up and leaving, all making a decent amount of coin. It seems like you don't know if they're getting paid for the event, but they certainly have been showered with gold through the whole night for their the music players, the boxers. Everyone has been showered with coins through the night until all the outer ring people leave. Some of the slightly inner ring, so the people that are wealthy merchants, maybe lower nobles that aren't landed, stay around. And as the bells toll midnight, there's a little bit of fanfare from trumpets as the lady comes into the great hall. She's wearing golden plate mail. She has this brilliant white cloak on behind her. No helmet, but she's got like a circlet of office on her head. She has a great sword, like a two-handed sword at her side, and a hound that is pitifully whining at her feet, apparently. She comes in. There is no throne per se for her. She just pulls out a chair and kind of sits in the middle ring for the people that are the table for the Penhaugen nobility. Just takes a seat. As soon as she does, petitioners start to come up, and she slowly listens to one after another. But this looks like where deals are being made between all the tables now. People have contracts that are coming out. You hear mining deals, right away deals. Someone is trying to buy. I'm not sure how I want to say this. So each of the lands have a degree of serfs on them, right? But they're free to come and go. They are either given a plot of land in the way to entice them, and then a certain amount of their proceeds for the year goes to the landholder. But they're given the land to do with what they want. So some of your neighbors are trying to entice away serfs, and that's causing a problem. You think that that's probably where most of your serfs went. Stoltheim. They've been drawn away, offered larger plots of land with more protection because yours was overran with greenskins. And so some folks are asking for the lady to intervene in this dispute that's going on. So Stoltheim, you have one of the larger domains, but you are, until you find a way to capitalize on it, you are resource poor and you are serf poor.
Yep.
Yeah. So is there anything you want to do to kind of finagle into this? Anything you can think of?
Table talk. What do you guys think? Ideas?
You can invite more people to the realm.
Hmm.
I mean, right now, the Shire is having a problem with people being abducted. You can invite people to, hey, come here. I don't know that would help necessarily. Exploit the resources.
Did deal with the army, right?
Yeah, but on the other hand of that, you also invited in several hundred goblins to come in and
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they work and do no harm to the people there, they're welcome. I'll put a foot in the ring, I guess. I'll offer the land back to the people that may have left at no charge.
Right. So right now you're not talking to the people.
Okay. I'm
like
talking to the actual.
These are the barons of the areas around you that are stealing your people.
Yeah. So then, how would I want to bring it up? I mean,
you can't dictate where people can and can't go, really.
Right.
Can you?
No, but there's that thing where the serfs are originally from here to begin with. But I also don't want to uproot people that may have moved out somewhere else to find greener pastures, because it's understandable with the situation. So I think I'll stay out of it because, like you said, I don't have like a bargaining chip right now other than a good amount of land.
So you're just kind of listening to what some of the offers are.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just listening to see like what the market value is.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, the best offers are just like, look, we can protect you. We can give you a plot of land that you can work, and we'll take 20%, sometimes more, but you're protected. We have, we've either got fortifications, we have security, whatever else. That seems to be the big thing, because this is not a very secure area. This is dense wilderness around here, with lots of problems. So security and land are the two things that a lot of them are offering, and they're trying to say, look, you can't take all of my serfs. Can we make a deal here? I have these mines, you have these woods. Why don't I cut a deal with you for my mineral rights, and you back off, enticing my serfs away?
We have woods and we have a mine.
You do, but you don't know about protection yet.
Yeah.
Because remember, the problem with dispersing that army is that you now have hills filled with orcs, hill giants, and goblins who may or may not make their way back to their homes.
Or they'll go to Threshold, which has more money than us. I mean, I just let it go.
Okay. Yep. Does anybody else want to weigh in on anything?
Jameis just got back, actually. Let me ask him real quick. Jameis, the nearby lords are like arguing and bartering over serfs that have originally left our domain. And they're trying to barter with them.
Remember that
I
Galen's all about setting up a area for greenskins to live in our area. So,
in our area.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Is like a whole just open door policy to anybody as long as they're willing to
Oh,
work and protect our land.
well, there's more to the greenskins, and no one else likes greenskins. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is a
All about-
point. I mean, you could have a serf population of nothing but demi-humans that you just are treating like normal farmers and expecting them to keep a society in the
You're
same
not
way.
gonna, but you can try that.
Yeah.
Isn't Jameis knows they're not gonna, but Galen would try.
Certainly no one else has tried it.
You know what? I like that. I like what we're working with right now. I like the idea of a demi-human area for them.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have to civilize them, but at the same time, if they're loyal to the land and respectful to the
Well, if
people
you
there,
don't
and
civilize them, they're going to go raid everywhere else around, and then they're going to come after us. So.
yeah. Well,
So
we're
then
poor.
The next question is going to be: is someone going to get into line to introduce your barony to the lady, or to present a proposition for
We want
her
to talk about
in
the owls.
Penhaligon?
Me
So,
and Galen.
Okay, well then it's your turn up. She is incredibly informal in the fact that she only has one aide with her, and that aide is basically just taking down all the information so that there is a record of it, and if a contract needs to be made, drawing up the contract, that sort of thing. She looks entirely bored of the whole procession, but she's doing it out of necessity, out of duty. And she doesn't, you get the idea that she could probably palm this off on somebody on her staff, but she wants a hand in all of this.
So I think all of us should go up together. Actually, I want Scrimble Shakes to be the one that pays attention because he likes information and he likes telling stories. So I want him to be the aide that's taking notes. And then Galen will be my advisor because he's the one that's been keeping up on a lot of info and figuring stuff out from the demi-human side. And Radnar is my mage because we have a court mage.
You have no court, but you have a court mage.
He's my court mage. But I think we should all just go up together as a group.
Okay. Who wants to speak first? I mean, just as you come up, I mean, she looks at all of you, just completely impassive face, no real reading of expression, just very stoic.
I lean over to Galen. I go, "Should we tell her what we did up north?"
Oh yeah, we meet your sister. He says this thing. Yeah, he does. Oh yeah, we meet your sister. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, half sister, I suppose.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't matter now with her being dead.
No,
I say that out loud.
no. Well, this is all out loud. One of
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
can
not
make
very
this
formal
easy.
at the moment either. She's very
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep.
well, yeah.
So
hey,
you guys are
killed your
discussing
sister.
amongst yourselves as you are now like the next people in line. She just
Mhm.
No,
patiently
we're right there
waits.
in front of her. I'm just like, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
right
your
in front of
sister.
her.
Yeah. She's going to react as she reacts.
And you are the delegation from.
Oh, Duke Stefan sent us. I'm from
Oh.
Stoltholm.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
she got very excited when you said Duke Stefan sent you, but then it's like, oh, yes, that a small village to the west of us. Yes. Have you gotten your problem under hand? I have reports that the she thinks for a minute and says, well, you have a demi-human population there that's not of the elven or dwarven variety.
Yeah.
Yes, goblins and orcs.
Yes.
Yes.
We would like them eradicated.
Well, fancy
No.
you say that. There was a large amassing that was apparently belonging to someone who claimed to be your sister. We took care of this menace and the threat to Penhalgian for the betterment of all the country people amongst the estate of Penhalgian. And, I have welcomed with open arms those of that army that wish to do good and find themselves a home.
She, you see the eyebrows knit just a little bit. It's the only passing expression of emotion at all. My uncle informed me of my bastard sister's plans. I formally, and she stands up and voice gets a little louder when she says it, thank you for your efforts in squashing this menace to our borders, for ridding me of a pretender to this throne. She pulls out like this two-handed sword. It's gigantic, but she wields it like it's not for show. Like she can use this thing. She dips it down in front of you still time. Know that I, the Lady of Penhalgan, Lord and Ruler here, do offer you public thanks for your service and a boon and a favor that you may ask of me.
Ah, well, Galen, my friend, he is my advisor. He has quite a wonderful idea for you, actually, if we may mention said favor now.
Oh, so quickly. I will hear you.
So, the elves, right?
Yes, the elves. Tell her about the elves.
Launched into a very bad explanation of what the elves meant.
Okay, so you're gonna petition for the elves. You're gonna petition for the elves. Is that what you want to do?
That's what Galen came here.
Okay.
If it wasn't for that, he would not be here. If it wasn't.
As you get that out, she stands, and she just very commandingly, she says, "Leave us the room, out." And when she says that, a few guards kind of appear around the doors. Everyone else that was waiting for her time kind of look a little annoyed, but they get up and they start leaving.
I start leaving too, unless someone stops me. Because
you.
I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. I'm so sorry. I'm new here. I'm not aware of many customs.
The elven delegation stands to leave as well. Nor you stay. Clears the chamber, so it's just your company and the Corelli elves. There's 5 of them. She takes the two-handed sword, just kind of slams it down on the table and leaves it there. She says, "You leave me at..." I'm assuming you everyone's introduced themselves, right?
Yeah. Sure.
You leave me at a quandary then, Galen of the Corelli elves. I am duty bound to provide you with a boon. If I were to stop pressing into the territories that this delegation wishes me to stop in, we cannot fund this city. The Duke has issued an edict that if we are able to clear the Wilderlands of the menace, the lands can become ours. If we stop pushing into these woodlands, if we stop our logging efforts, we cannot clear the menace and we cannot claim the territory.
The menace
Your delegation,
the orcs?
Well, not just the orcs, but it's basically the hill giants, the dragons, the orcs, everything that's just plaguing the area, right? If we stop our push, we cannot expand as a city. We need the resources. So what would you have me do?
Oh, we have plenty of woods over in my estate, and I mean, it's not like I have the workers to deforest at the moment. I gladly offer up my land for lumber purposes and safe passage. We don't have much at the moment, but I hope to grow the land I've been given and to make it a prosperous place where your workers could find a second home at while they work. A little peace of mind rather than pressing upon the elves and threatening other demi-humans to acts of aggression, possibly. Not that they would, but down the line, a couple of generations, who knows what could happen.
So you are offering your woodlands for our coffers. That fixes the income problem, but not the territory problem. We need to expand. Are you offering your lands for expansion as well? I have no heir for you to marry. Duke Stefan has made it clear that we cannot sell or auction noble titles, or I would be much more than I am now.
Are you married?
No.
Neither am I.
Be a charisma roll.
Do I get a +1 for
Yes.
anything?
Just the magic cloak, the cursed cloak. That's all.
Are we going to blow rolls on this? Is the question.
Low success.
That's the
All
moment.
right, low success. There is just a small upturn of her lip. It's just a small smile, like you've amused her. Were your holdings of more significance than just the woodland, I would not flatly turn you down. But as it stands, you can offer nothing.
Then I have something to look forward to when my land becomes profitable. And I look forward to meeting you again, my lady.
So you're saying there's a chance?
I was going to say, don't we have 2 magical fortresses in our land?
Well, that you haven't exactly cleared out yet, but
Can I have a quick whisper to the
Nobody
elves
knows.
about the whole forestry thing as we talk? Is there something that we can do in terms of expanding the land that isn't just pure forestry?
to the south of my city, between us and the barony of Kelvin, is a moor, a swamp. The land around it is very fertile. It is not within the domain of the Corelli that you claim. Is that correct? One of the Corelli speak up and says, yes, my lady. It is, however, plagued with the progeny of black dragons and other very evil creatures. Yeah, she just kind of waves that aside. Were we to reduce the menace in the area and claim that land, that would be suitable, and we would not have to push into Corelli land. However, while I do have a standing army of knights, they are infantry. Horses would not fare well in a moor. I understand from information I have gathered that you are part of a company, a chartered company from the Duke himself. Scribble Shakes is like, not yet, I'm not.
No, not me.
2/3 of the way there on the books.
Is that where the dragon is we're going to go talk to after this? I sort of asked Rednall.
No, I thought the other dragon was a red dragon.
Yeah.
You don't know. Actually, you don't know what kind of dragon it is.
Okay.
And it was just a dragon, not
Yeah.
progeny of dragons. So
No, not in this direction. Not in this
Okay.
direction. If your company would see clear to help me clear the moor, use the fertility of that environment to extend, say, our farmlands, I would be very careful to create a small road doing little damage to the surrounding forest. I would treaty not to expand that road if I have access to the moor.
Do I have a map of the area on me?
So yeah, it's right there. Yeah, sure. What you know? What she'll unroll a map of the area.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about is like this region right here, just to the south.
Just like the top area, though, not the part that's in the barony of Kelvin.
Oh no, of course not. No.
Okay, because I was going to
that would be an act of war.
Right. I go. So just to the
That'll be their own.
borderlands.
That's a very different issue that we're not having anything to do with at the moment.
I mean, you just need us to clear out an area or to deal with it. I mean,
No, I need your help to subdue the area. clearing it out once, I can send an army to do that, but that doesn't fix the problem. They continually breed there, I understand, and there's more than just the black dragons that are an issue.
Hey, Ragnar, how about our black dragons?
Does the barony of Kelvin have more information, being that that's on their doorstep?
They are
That's the place that's really anti-magic, aren't they?
unwilling to provide me with help. They would like that border to remain, but under Duke Stefan's law, if we were to clear it, we could claim it. They aren't clearing it for whatever reason.
Interesting that they wouldn't be worried about something right on their back door.
I have my suspicions that they have made a deal of some sort. Black dragons aren't particularly known for their intelligence, but a great one, an old one, an ancient one, perhaps. But I don't know.
What do you guys think? Do we want to journey into the moor?
The Corelli contingency will actually ask to pull you aside for a minute, Galen. Okay. So they bend your ear, and they basically said it's not a bad deal for them, but they don't think you can do it.
Would you be able to provide anyone to help out as well? Because the elves aren't exactly bad when it comes to fighters themselves.
They couldn't commit a large number, but they could get you a small company of archers.
Could we ask for a company of foot soldiers from Penhalion to assist? I know you can't spare many men, and you mentioned yourselves cavalry, but even just a small contingency. I mean, let's be frank. I don't have much to work with.
I cannot spare my knights, but I do have some rangers and some patrol units that I could send with you.
So if we get a group of the elves and a group of their patrol units, and if we seek out extra help from the Green Company, we could have a substantial force.
You're talking to each other in front of her, I assume, about this then.
Yeah.
So the problem being, if it was simply a matter of marching an army in there and taking the territory, I would have long since done it. The marsh grounds are not conducive for a large number of forces in one place. You tend to sink. But a smaller force that can put an end to spawning grounds, that could provide better intelligence and create a beachhead there, perhaps a small fortification or a small city as a starter.
So like an outpost.
An outpost would work. Something to get a toehold in there from which we can send sorties out as needed to control the area.
Would it be possible to have this outpost be mobile, like a caravan city almost? That way, as we breach further in, we can continue to take a foothold within the land and keep a steady ground going as we push.
Thinks about that for flat bottom boats, perhaps. A number of them linked together that can move over the moors might work. We would need a supply zone someplace where food and safety can be provided for troops that are moving back and forth. The safe is the key word here.
I suggest, if you would like to supply a moving caravan that could travel the marsh, I will gladly let you take whatever lumber you need from my land to do such a feat, and then we can approach the situation when that is done and I can, in the meantime, while this happens, maybe get word back to the Duke or the company.
She will look over to the delegation of Corelli elves and say, the Baron Stoltheim has bought 8 months. For 8 months, I will cease my logging. We won't push into those territories, and we will bend our efforts into subduing them more. If in those 8 months we can establish a beachhead, we can safely have farmers there, that would be adequate. Whether or not the Duke will deed those lands to me after it's subdued, it's not your problem. I will conform to our deal regardless if the lands are awarded to us, if we can subdue the area for my farmers and for the income it would provide. Corelli elves are like, well, I mean, 8 months is a blink of an eye, but it's something.
Yeah. As they were sort of thinking, worst case, she'll die, someone else will come along, we'll talk to them. They were going to do that anyway, so it's like, we can go.
It costs them nothing.
Yeah.
And it's something that they will get, and a small contingent of archers they can send with you. They'll see who would volunteer. They would have some that would be interested.
And we can have... elves and greenskins don't usually get along, do they?
Actually, it's not. It depends. There are not antagonists in this area unless the greenskins are raiding. They're not really antagonists. Now, the high elves hate greenskins.
Right,
absolutely hate
they
them.
already got
High elves
wiped out.
hate
We don't care
everyone.
about them.
Yeah.
So we
There's a
have
reason I'm
our
not saying they all
orcs
got
and
pretty well
goblins
set.
that we could take in too. We have our contingency of greenskins that we can take in. We can go for the Green Company for help and assistance. We have the elves and we have her forces, and we could even reach out to the Duke and just be like, there's a fuck ton of dragons out here. This is a
He
problem.
knows. It's not like he doesn't know. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's why the bounty's out there. That if you
Yeah.
can basically clear a hex, then you can claim the land.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't know. It's just like, you guys deal with it.
Yeah, he doesn't have the troops to deal with all of it.
Okay.
His territory's too big.
All right. Yeah, I like this.
Yep. And to tie it into the other thing you have to do, if there are dwarves to save, and or you can finagle a deal with the dwarf that you're helping, you might be able to get some dwarves in on this.
Yeah.
Because you have promised to help a certain dwarf as well to clear.
Yeah, well, it's not like we can turn around tomorrow and go out there and have a group of people ready to go. We need to go. You need time to get people together and everything. So it'll give us time to go off to the dwarf and we'll come back. Oh, it's 8 months and 1 day later. Damn, ran out of time.
Yeah.
I'll open my doors for those contingencies of people to stay if they want to stay in my hold area for while they organize. And
keep in mind that you have a tiny little town.
Yeah, and we're not exactly close. I mean, we want to be down here, and we're all the way up here. We're not close.
Yeah, that's fair.
Staging area. The staging area is going to be down the bottom of Penhaligon.
The dwarf is going to want you to go to these mountains up here, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we know we can go completely different directions.
Yeah.
But no, as we pass through, we can say to our greenskin friends, hey, got a group of people getting together. Go beat up some things.
Would you like to go get killed by by black dragons? Join us. All right. Well, I mean, if Stoltheim agrees to this, the Corellis, sure. I mean, again, to them, 8 months is nothing, but it's more than they've gotten in the years they've been here, so they'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
We'll go
all right. Well,
we're speaking up dragons and then come back and stomp all over them. Worst case, they end up joining forces and we just get wiped out by the.
All right. Well, with that, after you have an agreement, the rest of the petitioners are let back in, and the rest of the night finishes. She's got a long night ahead of her. Stoltheim. Yeah, Flint and his manager nowhere to be seen. Just gone.
Hmm?
Just gone.
I figured they were just gonna leave with all the money. I wanted them to take it all.
Okay.
That was Stoltenheim's plan. He's like, they
Yeah.
need the money. They want to get out of here and travel. Go. Like, you can hold on to the money. Like, he knew.
All right. Well, yeah. Sorry about the low energy night. Just some politicking going along. You got to meet the lady who is. No, she is what she is. She's a hard bargainer, and she's made no nonsense about what her plans are. She wants to expand. Yep. So there we go.
Yes, you do.
And now you've got a more long-term goal to get the moors cleared.
Speaking of
Basically,
long-term-
those 4 hexes is what she wants.
Right.
Yeah. So this area just right outside of Kelvin.
Speaking of long-term goals, there's something that I'd like to sort of get set up that you can then pick up on, or we can never get back to again. But Magpie is quite good at manipulating herself into situations and has her whole troops and stuff. Can she get someone or multiple agents into the iron slave ring so that we can then potentially pick that up later on and go, okay, they've got some information now, we can go and deal with that, and then we've got a hook into that.
That's interesting. Yeah. So Magpie is Magpie is all about cost benefit reward. Okay. So how would you want to sell this to her, knowing that Duke Stefan really doesn't want to hear anything that might implicate his cousin as being the problem?
We don't know that. I mean, now we know that.
We know we do know that.
That is nothing that we would have heard before.
Well, no. People have like even the hen here are saying like the Duke doesn't want to hear it if it's something that's going to implicate his cousin.
And it's something that we in the Green Company have known that for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, there's a couple of options there. One is you get an opportunity for the Green Company to spread out over there. 2, we can actually potentially find a way to put pay to the slavers that does isolate the cousin and does get the Duke completely off.
Yep. And while she is all about making the money, she would not be the kind that would take over the slave ring from the inside so that she now owns it and makes the money from it. she's not that driven by profit. No. But it's a close thing.
But we can sort of, I don't know how, but basically, if it needs to be that an accident happens to the cousin, then an accident might have to happen to the cousin.
Yeah. So the Green
Company,
Galen's
heard the slavers off and on, and they need them with. So,
have heard the connection to the Black Eagle barony before. There's no specific information that links the cousin though specifically, but his domain is definitely linked.
Yes.
You've got some pretty concrete information on that.
So yeah, if you want to make that a long-term thing that we can hook into, Bert.
Right.
Not that we don't have any other long-term things to deal with, but yeah, if you want to, we can potentially hook into that.
I'll make some rolls to see if she would, and what she might dedicate to it, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yep.
Worst case, we'll just stumble in there at some point later on.
Yeah, there's that. So yeah, sorry, a lot of politicking tonight. Sorry, Radnar. You might have made an enemy, maybe not. Once his head clears, he might just invite you out for a round of beers and.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right, so we'll end it there then. Richard, you got anything going on?
I am Richard, and when I do stream, I stream video games, me playing them badly, here on Twitch at LMTDTMFFR. Oh, say it with me now.
Limited time offer! No vowels!
Oh, wow.
Indeed.
Oh, that's horrible. Jameis.
Yep, got the old logs there. Nothing, we haven't been that well this week, so I've only got 1 or 2 things, but it's still happening. Oh, but on the right-hand side of the log, I've got my Twitter feed, which is basically links to Kickstarter campaigns I've been backing recently, and there's a lot of Sherlock ones there, so if you want links to that.
Yeah, I saw some of those. I'm going to have to check out that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely. All right, John.
Well, when I'm not playing TTRPGs with all my super cool awesome friends like you guys, You can find me at my channel at Substances Used, where I play retro JRPG games on the weekends, and other times I pretend to be a 60-year-old woman in Grand Theft Auto roleplay. So I highly suggest you check it out. It is hilarious, and I've really been growing my channel, and people have been enjoying it. So please.
I've got to say, Dion, after watching your channel earlier today, all I've got to say is you should not rent a car on your vacation to California. You should not rent a car.
That was such a hilarious stream. I just kept flopping left and right.
Yeah. Bill, what do you got going on? You've got an ongoing West Marches style game, right?
Yeah, I'm running Dwaro Deep, which is the new Greg Gillespie dungeon. It's basically Moria. And anyone's interested in contact me. I'll be more than happy to let you in the game. Plus, I'm still running Lost City of Baracus for the frogs.
Okay, sounds good. If you found us, you know where we are, but check out the podcast at BlueMagic.com. That's where you'll find all the actual links to the places we are, our Discord channel, the YouTube that we use as backing up all of these things. This Saturday, we might be doing Cyberpunk Red, the sitcom / dark comedy version that we're playing. Depending, we got 2 players that might be out, and if so, I'll be running a surprise game of something.
One
Surprise.
definitely is out. The other one is
It'll be a surprise. We'll find out, but we'll definitely be running something. This Sunday, we're doing Shadowrun, and it's going to actually be using the Shadowrun Shadowrun game. We're using the 2nd edition, very venerable edition of Shadowrun. This is the first time in over a year of playing the game that we're actually using the Shadowrun system.
Pittsburgh starts 2022.
Yeah, Bill. Something like that. Anyway, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.